guys, welcome back to my channel. This is I do movie reviews. My name is Owen DeBrinker, and today we are going on an adventure, folks, because I am going to review Jungle Cruise. This movie is based on a Disneyland ride and stars Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, Jack Whitehall, and Jesse Plemons. An adventurer played by Emily Blunt and her brother played by Jack Whitehall goes on a journey in the Amazon jungle to find this ancient tree that can somehow heal people and change medicine forever. They team up with a jungle cruiser / conman named Skipper, played by Dwayne Johnson, to go on a jungle cruise to find that tree. Now, don't kill me about this, guys, but I have not been to Disney World. I know. Don't kill me. I'm more upset than you are. I always wanted to go to Disney World. So I have no knowledge of Disneyland rides. I heard some of them, especially Jungle Cruise, but I have no knowledge about it. So I literally went into Jungle Cruise basically thinking, okay, I just want at least a really fun adventure film. Or at least a fun film that you can just watch in the theater. You know, like movies like Escape Room, Snake Eyes, and Old really let me down. So I was hoping that Jungle Cruise doesn't do that. And thank God, guys, Jungle Cruise did not do that for me. Because I had a total blast with Jungle Cruise. I think this film was just a lot of fun. I think the thing that I really find this movie fun about is how old school this movie is. It felt like an old classic adventure story that you would see as a kid. Like, this movie kind of reminds me of really fun adventure films as a kid. You know, Half Goonies, Indiana Jones, The Mummy. It has those vibes to it. But it also has its own version to it, you know. It's not like copying the other movies. But at times I'm like, okay, this is reminding me of Indiana Jones. Or this is reminding me of The Mummy in a really good way. Because I love how old school this film is. Like, it felt like a really old school adventure film that I would like as a kid. And I think the thing that really does shine throughout the film is Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. Great casting for this film. You know, Emily Blunt plays this adventurer who is, like, very charismatic. She's very brave. She's very fearless, basically. She's basically an adventurer that's like, oh, I'm very open and I want to explore things. But she was really passionate to find this tree. And I think Emily Blunt plays this character really, really well. And, of course, Dwayne Johnson. Every time I see Dwayne Johnson in a film, his screen presence, you know, you just like the guy. But he plays a really good character in this film. Yes, he does play himself, but of course he plays this jungle cruiser that all he cares about is money, and when he goes on an adventure with Emily Blunt, he does have a heart in himself, and there are times in this movie, yeah, he has a backstory in the film, and you get his character, which obviously I am not going to spoil, but Dwayne Johnson does a good job playing this character, and the thing that shines is their chemistry between Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson. I like them two together. They have a really good chemistry in this film, and they look like they had so much fun working together on set, and you can see that throughout this film. You follow them throughout this adventure, and I like them two together. Sorry, my phone alarm is ringing. We also got Jack Whitehall as Emily Blunt's brother. He plays one of those characters that's like, oh yeah, I'm very protective of myself. I don't want my clothes to get dirty. You know, he plays one of those characters. And I think he's really good in this film. He provides some really funny lines. But he also has some good charisma in his character. And I really like these characters, surprisingly. I thought he was going to be like one of these characters that's kind of forgettable. But I think Jack Whitehall does a really good performance in this film. I really enjoyed his character in the film. Jesse Plemons, though. Oh my god, his character was the best. Like, he plays this really over-the-top, mustachy villain. And that could have been a complaint for me, but honestly, since this film is very old school and knows exactly what it is, I accept Jesse Plemons for playing that role. I think he did a really fun job in this film. He looks like he had a lot of fun making this film. Like, there's a scene with him that's involved with bees, and I was honestly cracking up. He plays a really fun, over-the-top villain. But the whole thing I like about this film is the whole adventure vibe of this film. The whole journey that Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson goes through. It was just a lot of fun. It's a movie that knows exactly what it is. It's trying to pay tribute to the old school adventure films, but it's also trying to pay tribute to the ride itself, because you can tell in this film that there are vibes of this film that felt like the ride. Like, I saw the ride on YouTube. After I saw this film, I'm like, yeah, this film was trying to be like the ride, the film, and I think the film completely works in my opinion. And like the cinematography of this film, the look of the Amazon jungle, looks really, really good in the film. I think the look of this film looks amazing. The location looks really fantastic. You really believe that they're in the Amazon jungle. And speaking of that, what is with Dwayne Johnson in jungle movies? It's like, is that the only actor that can pick? Because, you know, Dwayne Johnson has been in so many jungle movies. Like, think about it, he's been in a lot of those. But I think the thing that no one talks about in this film is the score. I really love the score in this movie. It felt so adventurous. It felt like the old Indiana Jones, The Mummy, you know, those themes of adventurers. Jungle Cruise isn't a great movie by any means, but it's a movie that I think is very refreshing. You know, it's a movie that you're like, yeah, it's something that we wanted to see this blockbuster season because it's been very bad this year. But yeah, this movie has a couple of issues. Like, for one thing, this movie does get predictable at times. There's a moment in this film that's towards the end where I'm like, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And it actually happens. And it's not something that I'm like, yeah, this really ruins the film. This movie could have brought us more surprises, I would say. Yeah, the CGI in this movie doesn't look the best. Like, the CGI of those bad guys don't look that great. Even like there was a leopard in this film that Dwayne Johnson, he's basically its pet. And I think it doesn't look that great in my opinion. I think the CGI of that leopard doesn't look that great in my opinion. But overall guys, I had a blast with Jungle Cruise. This movie was just a lot of fun. It pays tribute to the fun old school adventure films, but also it's a great tribute to the ride itself. I think Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt has a great chemistry. Jack Whitehall is also really good in the film. The whole adventure, the whole story of this film was very fascinating. It felt like you're watching a film as a kid, like in a good way. I love this film. If you're a fan of adventure films, if you want to take your family to see something or watch something at home while we're in lockdown right now, check out Jungle Cruise. I think you'll have a really good time with it. I am going to give Jungle Cruise a B+. So guys, that is my review of Jungle Cruise. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like this movie? Hate this movie? And what is your favorite adventure film? Let me know in the comments below. And have you guys been to Disneyland? And what is your favorite ride? And another question too. What Disneyland rides do you want to see as movies? Honestly, I researched Disneyland rides. And I think Space Mountain would have been a really cool movie. So let me know that in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest movie reviews. And have a nice day.